Y'all know there's only one way to be, and that's honest and transparent. So you guys know, I don't even have to say it, I love Cricut, right? We love Cricut. I've been using Cricut for over a decade. It's something I find so amazing. I absolutely love it. But in today's video, we're gonna talk about some things that I would never recommend for you to buy from Cricut. It's going to be good, y'all. So sit back, relax, and let's jump into it. Number one is the Cricut Brightpad. Y'all know I have feelings about this, and I don't know if I have feelings about the Cricut Brightpad because I'm always in such a well-lit area, but I personally think this Cricut Brightpad is something you should never spend your money on. Why? Because it really doesn't do much. There's only been one material that I found that actually made any difference for my crafting, and that was glitter heat transfer vinyl. Anything other than glitter vinyl, heat transfer vinyl, things like that, this is kind of a wasted investment. I think there are other ways to spend your money to get the same exact result. For example, do you have a window? Put your material up against a window. It's that easy to get a better result than using a Cricut Brightpad. So I personally, with good faith, cannot recommend you to invest in a Cricut Brightpad, mainly because there has to be so many more affordable options, whether you're gonna look for free alternatives in your home or you're gonna go to Amazon and find some other ones that could be less than half the price. You know what I mean? So that's why I just wanna recommend for you all to never purchase a Cricut Brightpad. I think it'll save you a lot, and that will allow you to have quite a bit extra money to invest in things that will actually provide you more support and help in your Cricut journey. Number two is a harder pill for me to even swallow and recommend, but I think it needs to be discussed. This right here is Cricut brand vinyl. I always have to preface with this story, whereas in 2017, when I dove back in and helped Cricut launch their Cricut Maker, their vinyl and material was spectacular. It was amazing, and I was such a big fan of it, and I never had to go looking for other vinyl. Post 2017, 2018, almost 2019, they changed their vinyl and iron-on formula. And did you know the number one reason why, when I talk to Cricut beginners that are struggling, it's because they're actually using Cricut brand vinyl. And I don't know why. I don't know what has happened. I don't know the corporate thoughts behind changing this formula, but y'all, it's 10 times harder to use than vinyl that you could find at StarCraft, at Caesar, at Oracal. Those vinyl brands that we use on a daily basis are the secrets to our easy crafting. You guys know I'm live streaming multiple times a week, giving you guys the tips, the tricks, and the training that you need, and you may watch and see how easy it is for us. This crazy thing is, we're not special, we're not different. What is different is the material. So if you have been using Cricut vinyl and things like that, I wanna encourage you to switch it up. I wanna encourage you to stop using Cricut brand vinyl, and I personally struggle with it because I still have some in my craft stash, and anytime I accidentally pull it out, I have trouble weeding. It doesn't cut properly. When I'm pulling the vinyl back, it doesn't look or feel like it's cut, but it actually is. So I don't know if that's just me. I would love to know from your all's thoughts in the comments down below if you also struggle with Cricut brand vinyl, because it's something I just can't with good faith recommend to you all. And hopefully one day that changes. And as soon as it does, I'll be the first person to shout from the rooftops, y'all, Cricut vinyl is back and better than ever. But unfortunately today, it's not. Next up, let's have a hard chat about this Cricut Easy Press. You guys know I've been using these Easy Presses since they launched, and they're awesome. But the large Cricut Easy Press, we have to have a chat about it. I used to really love using this, and I was okay with the faults of the machine, but I just thought that's how it was. Until I started using larger heat plates and larger heat sources, and I fell in love with the mini Easy Press. Today, with good faith, I cannot actually recommend to you this 13 by 19 Easy Press. When you turn it on and you preheat your machine, it's going to heat up to your desired degree. As soon as you pick this up and you start pressing, guess what happens? This is such a large heating plate, the machine actually loses its temperature. When you're moving it around, it cannot keep the same temperature. which is very frustrating when you are doing something like infusible ink, when you're doing something, that is large and you're wanting to make sure you have consistent heat the entire process. You'll see very quickly with this one right here that it loses its temperature really quickly because it's such a large plate. That's why with heat transfer vinyl projects, I actually recommend the Mini Easy Press nowadays. And if you need something larger, get an actual industrial heat press. It's something that will keep consistent heat. It'll give you an amazing result, and it's super awesome to use. Since switching to that, I have put this to the side and actually cannot recommend this much at all. If you're looking for something in the Easy Press lineup, again, I recommend the Mini Easy Press, and the 9x9 does not have this issue, but I just can't recommend this large Easy Press with good faith for y'all. Now let's talk about something a little controversial. That is the Cricut AutoPress. And I don't recommend anyone to purchase this because it's a huge investment. Y'all, I haven't even spent the money and I craft for a living, and I just can't justify spending almost $1,000 or more on a heat press. The reason why is that you can find heat presses that are so much more affordable for less than half the price. The only caveat here is people with arthritis. If that is you, I totally understand why and how amazing it is to have the ability to do sublimation projects and heating projects with the Cricut AutoPress. But if you're not falling into that category, I highly recommend you save the money and go with something different. I'll link some other heat presses down below that we actually use and recommend, because if you have the ability to work with a traditional heat press, guess what? The savings is there. The savings could allow you to invest in a brand new sublimation printer, a brand new Cricut machine, or so much more material that you could ever think of when you go with a more affordable option. Although the AutoPress seems amazing and it looks really great, I just can't recommend with good faith for you to invest into such an expensive thing that is really just a large iron that automatically releases and presses down. But again, if you're someone that struggles with that and are limited to not being able to do those projects, and this gives you the ability and freedom to do heat press projects like that with the AutoPress, I totally understand where you're coming from. But again, if you don't fall into that category, I would recommend some of the alternatives I've linked down below. Next up, let's talk about infusible ink. Infusible ink is something that seems really fun and really awesome, but that's something I actually don't recommend to a lot of people. It's very a particular small group that would actually benefit and actually enjoy using infusible ink. If you are someone that always wants something custom and working with your own patterns and sizes, guess what? Infusible ink is not for you. It's a little tricky to work with, and it actually can allow you to damage the material really quickly due to the fact that infusible ink is simply printed sublimation sheets. That's all it is, and you have to weed the sublimation sheets. And as you guys know, if you have any knowledge around sublimation, guess what? When you are printing out sublimation sheets, you're not supposed to touch it. So when you have to weed this sheet of sublimation, you are running the risk of ruining your entire project. So might I suggest, if you're interested in infusible ink and you love the idea of having something permanent like infusible ink and sublimation, dive into sublimation. Y'all, it's not that expensive once you are able to invest in your printer. Everything after that is fairly affordable, and you can make back your investment really quickly. Whether you're selling your projects or you're doing them for friends and family, you'll get the reward really quickly when you dive into sublimation. To recap, we just cannot with good faith recommend Cricut infusible ink. There's so much room for failure when it comes to this product. You'll find yourself struggling with it, not only to cut it, to weed it, and possibly even apply it. We here at Makers Gonna Learn think it would be best for Cricut to stay in their lane. I would love to see Cricut develop a sublimation printer and go further into this niche, but as of today, sublimation and infusible ink I think should be very separate, and I would personally stay away from the infusible ink. You may have a different opinion, and I would love to hear from it down below. Very similar to infusible ink, this last one may surprise you. This is a brand new product from Cricut, and it's the Hot Glue Gun from Cricut. One thing I want to let you all know about is it's corded, it's expensive, and it's small. I don't think Cricut is going to do you a favor by purchasing this hot glue gun. I would recommend you to check out the Lily Hot Glue Gun by Surebonder because it's a lot more affordable. It even is wireless. It gives you 2 minutes of working time, and it has a precision tip. Even though it's still mini, it doesn't feel like a mini hot glue gun. So those are the Cricut products that we do not recommend and think you should never purchase. But what I want you to do right now is I want you to check out our Cricut matte hacks. These matte hacks over here are going to change the way you craft. Go over, click the link, and check out all of these matte hacks. Some of the comments are so impressive to me because there's people just like me that have been crafting for years, and they're getting blown away by some of my matte hacks that they've never even seen before. They hadn't seen them on TikTok, they hadn't seen them on other YouTube channels, and they are brand new. So I want you to check those out by clicking right over here. Now, if you are new here, be sure to also hit the subscribe button when you click over there, hit the like button, and let us know in the comments here or the comments over there about what videos you would like to see next. Thanks so much for watching, guys. See you in another video. Bye, guys.